So, we're here on a sunny Saturday outside West Kensington Tube Station, and today we're continuing our journey of cycling the tube. For those that don't know, West Kensington is a Zone 2 station serving West London, and we're going to be following it west, finding bits of trivia as we go along, starting with this scene here. So, I'm standing across the A4, looking directly at that building across from me over there. This scene might look familiar if you watch the film Trainspotting. Do you remember when Renton comes down to London as an estate agent? Well, that's actually the flat they looked at, 78A. Next, we have a more train-related fact, which is the location of the Lillie Bridge Depot and Ashfield House. These were spoken briefly in the part 1, but if I pop over the bridge, you might be able to just have a pretty good view of it. So the tunnel where that tube train's coming from heads to Earls Court, while the tracks on the left head directly to West Brompton. We also have Ashfield House, which is a training centre for TfL. It houses one of the unseen tube stations, which is West Ashfield, a station used solely for training. With that out the way, we're cycling to our next stop, which is Barons Court. But as we're heading down Barons Court Road, I wanted to show you guys these blue plaques on the wall here. So what are these? You've probably ever seen them all around the country. Well, it's a scheme done by English Heritage to bring the people of the past to the buildings of the present. They're basically saying who used to live here, and the building has some relevance to that person's life. So for example, this one over here is for Sir Geoffrey de Halland, which is an aircraft designer who lived here. I probably butchered that name. But the one I wanted to show you is at number 20, where Gandhi used to live to study his law degree. The last piece of trivia I want to tell you about West Kensington is that it actually got its name from a marketing stunt. So back in the day, this whole area was actually known as North End. And essentially what happened was 2 Victorians built a ton of houses and no one was buying it. So what did? They decided to piggyback off Kensington and Chelsea, which was already a well-established name, top homes, the place to be. So they renamed this area of North End as West Kensington to drive up house prices. The average property price now is about 500,000. Anyway, we're at our next station, which is Barons Court, which is served by the Piccadilly and District lines. The fun fact about Barons Court is at the end of this really cool looking road, and if we head down, we get to the Queen's Club, another high profile tennis venue. Next stop is Hammersmith, and this is considered a major hub for West London. So there's actually 2 stations at Hammersmith, one being this one behind me here, which is the one for the Hammersmith and City and Circle lines, and the other one is across the road in the Broadway shopping centre for the District and Piccadilly lines. So, what else is at Hammersmith? Well, there is this fancy building which is meant to resemble the hull of a ship, called the Ark. I think it's owned by General Electric. The Hammersmith Apollo, which has live gigs including Live at the Apollo. Lyric Square and Lyric Theatre, if you want some culture in your life. Guinness Trust buildings. And Riverside Studios, where they made some films I've never seen, as well as Doctor Who and Top of the Pops. And of course Hammersmith Bridge, which is falling apart. Also, on another note, did you know Hammersmith and Fulham Council are considering building a temporary bridge from that point on the south side to about where I'm standing now, whilst they're repairing the existing bridge. So I ended up getting off my bike, parking up and walking this bit, for reasons which will become clear in a moment, to show you guys this place. Yes, it's a pub, and it's down this very narrow alley. So I will come for a drink when it's open, but the reason I wanted to show you this was because this pub, the Dove, has the smallest bar room anywhere in the world, according to the Guinness Book of Records. Next up, we have Ravenscourt Park Station. And as the name suggests, there is a park nearby called Ravenscourt Park. And if you want, you could also do some train spotting. I also noticed as you're cycling by the arches, each one has a number which seems to be in between each arch. And it seems to go to 130, which seems pretty impressive. There are these open spaces, which could be quite cool art exhibits if they actually did something with it. Stamford Brook is next. And the only thing I could really find out about this station is there used to be a tributary that runs around here and goes straight into the Thames. Also, it is the first station in the London Underground to install automatic ticket barriers, which obviously have been updated. Turnham Green is next, and this is served by the District line as well as the Piccadilly at some times during the day. Underneath the railway bridge, there are some very cool looking maps which show how Turnham Green and the Chiswick area have changed since about 1746 all the way to the present day. Now there is actually a green at Turnham Green, conveniently enough, but it's not the one adjacent to the station, which is Acton Green. In fact, it's down the road, and once you get here, there's a pretty nice looking church over here. The irony is that it's closer to Chiswick Park station than it is Turnham Green. So, trivia about Chiswick Park. Well, some say the station's actually the location of the Battle of Turnham Green, which happened in 1642, which was the first civil war in England, maybe? It's a bit vague since it's quite far back. Anyway, what is around here? Well, there's a big Sainsbury's just behind that wall and trees over there. However, what I wanted to show you, which is train related, is if you keep over this bridge here, you can see the tracks, the Richmond bound tracks coming from here, from the main District Piccadilly line that go to Ealing Broadway and Hammersmith. And that bit over there, which goes down the left, is the eastbound line. And just as you'd have it, a train comes whizzing by. And if you come down the road from Chiswick Park Station, you'll find this local nature reserve, which is known locally as the Gunnersbury Triangle, and is bordered on what seems on all three sides by railway lines. So I just had a look at this Gunnersbury Triangle, and I gotta say it's pretty nice. I really hope there's more pocket parks like this dotted around London, and if you're in the area, definitely check it out. So it's actually to my left, there's some flats, so it's actually just behind these buildings here. And then if you look to my right, you actually have the railway lines. Let me know if you know any more pocket parks like these, because it's really nice just to come and chill and be very nice and quiet. I was then deciding which way I wanted to head, and in the end I went west, and quite literally came across this pretty nice looking bridge. Now it connects this area, Chiswick Business Park, to Chiswick Park Station, which I think the whole idea was to relieve congestion on Gunnersbury and have another connection for pedestrians to take, which means that this Gunnersbury station, which I'm currently at, doesn't get overwhelmed. So at the end of Chiswick Business Park, we have Gunnersbury Station, which is the other station serving the whole business park. And I think this is where we're going to end the video. What can I say about Gunnersbury? It's the closest tube station to Brentford Football Club, if you ever fancy a game. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you for the next one.